All right, peeps. Actually, I might have to disappear in a second. I think my neighbour might be coming round. How we doing? We all good? Happy days. Let's wait for a few of you lovelies to pop in. If I have to shoot, I'll pop back on in a little while. All good. All good is in the hood. Just going to wait for a few of you to load up. There is someone out there quite well up in the medical establishment, or whatever it is you want to call it. Oh, by the way, a friend of mine's is that my neighbour? I don't know if he comes around. He comes around. A friend of mine lives in France, and his friend, a female, has gone to hospital. She's got some sort of complications, and because she refused a test for this virus, they've pinned her down and done it against her wish and her will. Very dangerous, very, very dangerous. We're going to be talking about some hot topics today. Marshall, first day unemployed. Oh, mate, it is honestly, what's going on out there at the moment ain't right. We've got lots going on in America right now. Shots fired yesterday. Apparently a woman's been killed in the place in Washington. I don't know if it's the Senate or wherever it is, constitutional will, whatever, I don't know. But yeah, they've pinned this woman down in France, and they've done this test against her will and her wish. Now, I always thought we lived in a consent-based thing, you know. I really did. I thought our consent was everything. Apparently not. Apparently they can just pin you down and do what they like now. To do with the poison, they want to infect us all. I think we'll find out. It's all interesting on the YouTube link. Thanks, Leonard Augustine. Love it to see you. Marshall, you'll be all right. It's going to be a tough year, 2021. And while all the sanctimonious people sit at home and tell us all to wear masks, they don't realise that this is all going to affect them in the very near futures. If they think they're just going to get government handouts and pensions that are just going to keep going and going and going, they're hugely mistaken. Talk about ivory towers and people living in glass houses. I've just woke up. That's all. I'm just someone that sees what's going on in the world. Alison, how are you, mate? Jackie Jones, lovely to see you. We've got Leonard Augustine. We live in a world where we're just businesses now. I'm dealing with the high courts at the moment, sending them emails backwards and forwards. And it's just business. There is no justice. It's just business. You are just a business commodity. We get trampled all over. Our rights, our unalienable rights, you have none anymore. You really don't. You just have benefits. You just have government benefits. That's all you've got, privileges. Everything in your life, mate, is just a privilege. It's such a shame that we've ever come to this. It really is. And I guess God has put me here just to try and speak the word and try and get his kingdom back to some sort of whatever. I don't really know what we're doing. But yeah, so they stormed the building yesterday after Trump. I don't know what's happening out there in America at the moment. I don't know who's the president and who's not the president. I don't know if Trump's still in. To be honest with you, I don't really care. I know that there's massive momentum for Trump, but what the outcome of that's going to be. But I know they stormed the building yesterday. Now there's apparently going to be a bit of a do on the 11th. Yesterday, the Metropolitan Police arrested and carted off a 92-year-old gentleman. Still on the earth, 92, bushy eyebrows, God bless him. And the police arrested him and carted him off, took him into the nicked him, 92. Can you believe that? 92-year-old man. He said, well, I've got to stand up for freedom, said, because we're heading into fascism and the dictatorship. But then all the snowflakes said at home, said, oh, no, well, you can't have people like that. Oh, Trump's disgusting. I mean, it's unbelievable where we're at. And we all so easily make excuses for our public servants, don't we? We just make such a, oh, no, it's all right. The police didn't mean to smash that triplex in his face or break his wrists or cuff him and make him bleed or make him pass out in the cell. Everyone makes excuses for these vile people. And they are fucking vile. I mean, they are abhorrent. The people that run this system and this country should be gorgeous, gracious people, but they're not. They are vile fucking cretins. Sorry, but they are. They've just banned me again this morning on Facebook. I was due to be coming off a 7-day live streaming ban. but now they've gone back. The bans, I had 2 90-day bans last year, and they were for posts that apparently I shared in 2019. Well, today they've given me another 90-day ban and restrictions because I shared a post in 2018. Talk about going backwards. But you know what, Facebook, I'm done with it. I might have a little look on there now and again, but that's it. It's done. Can't be doing it no more. The amount of people that told me just take the test, unbelievable. No one can see it's happening. It's coming. They're all sat in glass houses right now, and they don't realise what a shitstorm that they're bringing in. The amount of people that have been violated because of this. And like I said yesterday, the only reason you know that there's a virus out there is because the mainstream media peddle it. And if you didn't have mainstream media and there was genuinely a pandemic, everyone would have it, and you'd know about it anyway, regardless. You'd know about it if there wasn't a TV or a radio or a newspaper. You'd know about it. You would know about it because everyone in your community would have it, right? Simple. Unbelievable times we're living in, absolutely. But we are just a business and a commodity to this government now, and it's sick. So whatever's going to happen on the 11th in this country, whether it's going to be a similar style thing that happens to what's going on in America right now, Lord only knows. Personally, I can see it coming. I really can see it coming. And you know, the amount of families that are going without. Marshall Wade, you know, has lost his job because he won't take the mark of the beast. And it is all about taking the mark of the beast. They want you. Jab and go. You got jab and go now. Thompson's or whatever holiday showing on the TV. Oh, you can have a jab and go now. You can go on holiday this year. For Christ's sake. He serves it up in many ways, let me tell you. We was at a Freedom Rally in Nottingham Sunday, 8th for the 12th. Chased my son, pinned him down, twisted his arm behind his back and threatened to break it. He's 14 years of age. I hope you're listening, ladies and gentlemen, because this could all be you. Don't walk around thinking that you're not vulnerable. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what kind of an house you live in. I don't care what car you drive, whether you drive a Bugatti, a Veyron, a Rolls Royce, a three-wheeler. I don't care. Don't never think that you will not at some point in your life be subjected to this. The odds of you getting through this life without being carved up by the state is very, very minuscule. And if you do manage to get through, I think you've been very, very lucky. Very lucky indeed. And whilst you might watch people like me and go, oh, no, it never happened, it will happen to you one day. George Orwell said, you will not feel the boot of oppression until it is firmly wedged in the back of your head. And that is what Alison Goulding has found herself in. Her son was chased on the 8th of the 12th in Nottingham at a Freedom Rally. He was pinned to the ground. He had his arms twisted behind his back. Do you know how painful that is? And threatened to break it. Now, the police are not supposed to be cuffing us round the back. That's called hog tie, and that goes against the Geneva Convention. But do we honestly believe that the police in this country care about the Geneva Convention? No. Why? Because they've become a Gestapo, because they've become a very mighty, powerful force, while we're all disarmed. And I think there's going to come a time where people in this country start arming themselves up. I do. And I can see a time coming when the police really start finding themselves in a very vulnerable position, because we can't. 8 to 12 coppers wrestled her son to the ground. He's 14. He's not even at the age of majority. He's a minor. But yet they were going to break his arms, and they threatened to break it. Give it up, son. We're going to break your arm. Why? Because they can. They get away with murder. Genuinely, they get away with murder. Is that a country you want to live in? Is that a country you want for your future generations? Not a chance. I don't want that for my granddaughter. I don't want that for my granddaughter. The government and the mainstream media are acting like domestic terrorists. They tackle the tactics they are using exactly the same: fear and propaganda. Research the definition of terrorism. Absolutely. The definition of terrorism is government by intimidation. We are in very, very, very bad, sad times. But if you're getting through it and you ain't taking no notice of it, I'm pretty sure Marshall Wade 2 weeks ago, I've known Marshall for a long time. I was chatting with Tony Piper yesterday as well. I had a phone call with Tony, and him and Tone know each other very well. And Tony Piper is just a lovely, lovely guy. Did Marshall probably anticipate the fact that his work are probably going to start leaning on people. And I would say Marshall had a good indication that he might be unemployed at some point. And it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And it is, you will take the mark of the beast. That is all this is about. It's about you will take the mark. And I suggest that you don't take the mark. I really do. Hi, Dave. I've let NHS England Limited offer flu shots yet. This leads to COVID-19 vax. It's, I think they're going to get everyone in the end, maybe. They're not certainly having me. They won't be jabbing me. I'd rather take a bullet. But it's the system we've allowed to manifest. We've allowed this to happen. We've allowed our servants to get into this position. And they are just servants. They're there to serve. They're there to protect. They're there to honour life, property and liberty. They're not there to strip us of our unalienable rights. I have seen a guy quite in the healthy business has come out and said that you stand a 54% less chance of catching any symptoms of this coronavirus if you take vitamin D. And I take vitamin D every single day, and I take slow release vitamin C as well. Guys and girls, you have to get your minerals and your vitamins in you. If you need a very, very strong immune system. And I would trust my immune system over any jab that they want to give out to anybody. I think the immune system is a very clever piece of kit. Got 2 letters saying I need a free flu shot. It's up to you. It's a consent-based situation. But as we found out yesterday, my friend in France has now been forced against their will to have a test, and they pin you down. We've got a situation in this country where we have people in public servitude that are prepared to pin you down and violate you. And then the police will violate you. They're all violators. The whole system is a violation, and it goes against everything that we were born with. We were born with God-given rights, although not too many people seem to want to protect them or honour them no more. We are just there for their pickings, and we will do what they say. It's quite sad. I find it very, very tragic, and I find it treasonous. I find it treason that we have people in this country in these positions doing these things. I really, really do. David, you got a link to that video? I can share it a little bit later. I have a baseball bat, and I'm not frightened to use it. The police now, for me, if they're prepared to pin a 14-year-old kid down with 8 to 12 officers and constables on top of them, luckily they didn't wrestle this 92-year-old to the ground yesterday. They're running a thin line at the moment. Now, we always called the police the thin blue line, and they're I know lots of ex-policemen that I consider buddies. Lord knows I don't know what they've done in their careers, and I don't really want to know. I never come into this world to do bad things to people. I never come into the world. If someone ever said, right, we've got a job for you, so what does that include? It means you've got to strip everyone of their natural God-given rights. You have the right to beat them up, to taser them, to put windscreen glass in their face. You have the right to cuff them and make their wrist bleed. You have a right to make them pass out in cells. I would say, no, that would make me a traitor. That would make me really, really fucking nasty. So stick your job where the sun don't shine. I couldn't do it. I don't know where these people come from. I don't know whether they were bullied at school, whether they're ex-army, ex-services. We know the police are very much into their marching and look very regimental nowadays. But it's sick and sad because we've allowed a group of people in this country to become weaponized. We truly believe that they're there for us and our benefit. And sometimes they are. Sometimes they are. Sometimes they will go out the way. I mean, look at Graham Moore a few years ago. He had a heart attack on Hampstead Heath or round at Windsor Common, Windsor Place, wherever he was, whilst they were flying their balloons up in the sky. And he had a heart attack, and these 2 coppers had defibrillators, and they got him going. And, by the grace of these 2 individuals, that's proper policing. That's proper policing. Policing should be about protecting and serving property, life and liberty. That is the oath that they swore. They swore that oath, and they're violating that oath because they've now become a commercial instrument. They're mostly hanging out of council buildings now. The police are very cosy with their local councils. Now, I've got a mate that's very high up in a local council, and when I made that suggestion to him a couple of years ago on golf tour that the police work for the council and they're all cozy, he said, no, that's preposterous. The police are their own thingy. I went, no, you pay their wages, so you bark their orders. And we all know it's majorly linked to the Freemasons. It's to me, it's got to stop. And I think that it's as we've seen yesterday by their buildings being run over, shots fired in America, this battle we've got now between Trump and all the other stuff that's going on, I think that will snowball in this country at some point. It's gloom, bleak, but we must keep our heads high. Absolutely, amen. We must fight it when we see it, turn the mainstream media off, absolutely turn the mainstream media off, and live our lives properly with love and light. Absolutely right. Fellowship. We need fellowship. We need to realise we are all in this together. Unlike what David Cameron says, we are all in this together, but we've allowed these private corporations to basically rule us. They rule us through the purse. They really do. It's so sad. The beauty of what this public sector started off and the essence that it was when it started was pretty good. It was, we're going to start these things. We're going to make these corporations to work for the betterment of mankind so that people can live in their private capacity and not go without. That is the ethos of all this stuff. But it's now a case of that we, the people, work and service the corporations, and they will stop at nothing to get that sweet dollar in. Now, the courts, it's all justice commands a fee. Well, justice can't prevail when money's involved. Sorry. When there's money involved in justice, forget it. You have a mafia. The government is a mafia. And I'm going to stick by that until the day I die. And it hurts me to talk like this because I'm someone that absolutely love my country. I love the people that live in this great country. I really do. England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, I think you're a fantastic group of people. But how and why have we allowed this to happen? We really have got out of sync. You know, when you have people in public office that believe with their heart that they have the right to bash you, to murder you, to kill you, which they do regularly. We know that they off people and pretty much get away with it. You know, Mark Duggan, that shooting with Mark Duggan, whoever faced, you know, we know that one copper has been successfully prosecuted recently through private prosecution, and that's through CrimeBodge. Fantastic website on YouTube, by the way. CrimeBodge is just amazing. He's different from me. He's very articulate. I'm not. I just tell it how it is. And his channels are properly done, VT'd, edited. You know, he puts out all the information and stuff like that. He's a very, very articulate man, whereas I'm just real. I'm earthy. I come from the gutter. You know, I don't pull my punches. And I have been violated many, many times by the system, but it won't. The point I'm trying to make is he won't never beat me. I will beat it because it works for me, as far as I'm concerned. If the system don't work for us, then we have a duty to change that. We must have hope. Absolutely right. We have big time. What starts in America comes in. Generally, it does. Sven Hatch. Hello, Sven. Plant-based, avoid synthetic ones. God bless you, Sven. Lovely to see you. It's his first time, son, to my channel. I think it could be. Please share the like. Please share the love. Please subscribe, like, hit the notification button. You'll get the bells popping up all over the place. The general population don't know what's happened, and if it doesn't, know that every. Hang on, let me start again. Boris Johnson. Good morning, Boris. The general population doesn't know what's happening, and it doesn't even know that it doesn't know. Absolutely right. Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky is a decent dude. Police are based in a local town hall here. There is a police station, but closed to the public. They've shut up shop. They've shut up shop. Government has shut up shop. It's now a case of you'll do what we say, and we're just going to take what the fuck we want. We're going to take your kids. We're going to take your cars. Why? Because we've got men with machine guns. We've got big steel fucking gates, and you ain't coming in. And that's really dangerous. Dave, I think everyone needs to change the direction of protest and need to focus on mainstream media. Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, Schroders, JP Morgan, they are the devil in the detail. Absolutely right. They really, really are. The Collie Man, nice to see you, my son. This is how they get people to wear masks. They started with buying food, so it was all planned. Yeah. To this day, I've not worn a mask. I might do when I'm at work, when I'm putting a bit of loft insulation or rubbing a bit of wall down. That's my choice. And I will do the blood saturation test on my phone with me covering my mouth for 20 minutes. And then generally my oxygen saturation levels at a 53-year-old man are between 96 and 98% every day. And I guess I'm looking, once I put a mask on and wear that for 20 minutes, half hour, that my oxygen saturation level is going to come down. But I'm going to do that test, and I am going to show you with this new smart thing that my missus bought me for Christmas. I know. But yesterday I went to the doctors to get him to sign and seal an evidence of life form 206. And, you know, I went down there at 1 o'clock because I told him I weren't going to wear a mask when it weren't so busy. And then when I went into the doctor's, lovely doctor, really nice gentleman. But I sat 2 foot, 3 foot from the doctor. And was the doctor wearing any masks? No, he wasn't. And I never felt the need to ask him to put a mask on, because I don't walk in fear, ladies and gentlemen. I walk in faith. You're doing that today, Dave? Doing what today, darling? Yeah, I might do it a bit later. This thing tells me heartbeat, BP, heart rate, and it also does blood oxygen levels. So what I will do is, like, oxygen saturation in your blood. It's very clever how it works. So I'll probably do that a little bit later today or later on in the week. And I'll bet you it drops. I'll bet you any money, once I've worn a mask on my face for 20 minutes, half hour, that my oxygen saturation levels drop. I'll bet you. Because you're designed to breathe. You wouldn't have had nostrils and a mouth unless God gave them to you for a reason. You'd have gills and fins like the fishes. So yeah, we'll see. So yeah, we know we've got to switch this up. But there is, whatever's coming out of America in the next couple of days with regards to these people ramming and taking over this building yesterday, are very instrumental. And that hasn't happened in modern history. We've not seen the people rise like this. Now, we always see Russia, the people always rise from adversity. We always do, and we always win, and we always figure out what's going on. But the problem with it this time round is we've all told ourselves and give ourselves the illusion that freedom and kindness and love is the way, and it is the way. But we've allowed our public servants, we've put blinkers on, we've turned a blind eye, and we've just let them get on with their very menacing ways. And we need to stop that, because these people are now running amok with us. And they're really, really harming us. You know, like I say, if they're prepared to break a 14-year-old's arms when there's 10 or 12, do you know how much of a coward you've got to be to have all uniforms on, to have all the weapons, the lead-lined gloves, the mace spray, the anal beads, all that stuff, and then to threaten a 14-year-old boy that whilst you've got him pinned to the ground and his head's in the grass or the tarmac, that you're going to break his arm unless he complies, makes you a fucking maniac. And you need stopping. You do. And I think at some point the great people of this country are going to make you stop, and you will all be held accountable for your actions and your deeds. And it can't come soon enough, as far as I'm concerned. Apparently Trump is going to step down. Communism, the nail that sticks up gets hammered. Bosh. There's more police stopping you going to Walmart that were on the doors at the White House yesterday. For none shall buy nor sell unless they receive the mark. That's in Revelation chapter 13. And that is what this is all about. This is about you bending over. This is Albert Pike's 3 World War predictions coming into full view. Unless you receive the mark, you shall not buy nor sell. Either free, slave, or bond. That's what it says, man. But we're not having that. God's people are not going to have that. That was the BLM that stormed that building. It probably was. There's so much going on right now. It's hard to know what's the truth and what's not the truth. It really, really is. And whatever is the truth, no one really knows. I find it very encouraging when hundreds of thousands of people are prepared to turn out and say no to tyranny. Years ago, you know, when the system and the public sector workers started to get out of their pram, we used to certainly bolt the door and calm them down. We did. We had that energy in us. We knew what was right and what was wrong. And inherently, we all know what's right and what's wrong. It's all a setup. Boris Johnson, you're probably right. It probably is just a setup. It's probably just a ruse. It's probably just a thingy. But who knows? Just be true to yourself and others close to you. Richard Lewis, yes, mate. Lovely to see it. Rich, are you new to the channel? If you are, mate, consider subscribing. It's fantastic. My audiences are now starting to go up and go up and go up. You're going to see more of me. I'm not doing Facebook stuff no more. Facebook feels really weird for me now, so I don't really bother with Facebook. I might go and make the odd comment and stuff, but it's done. It's a finished platform. It really is. I might start doing TikTok. You never know, you lot. Albert Wright wrote about the cabal. He did. Albert Pike was a very senior Freemason back in the late 1800s, I do believe. I'm off Facebook. Done. Yeah, it's a waste of time. It's a massive echo chamber. Just be true to yourself and others close to you. Yes, I think we've just done that one, Rich, but that's a fantastic thing. We need to get back to fellowship. We really do. Wearing a mask, says the Colin Man, reduces your oxygen intake, but it does not allow you to breathe out enough carbon dioxide. This is and reduces the amount of oxygen intake. Also, it captures the natural mucus. It does. There's so many people, right, that are going to be going down this year. Why? Because many of them are taking the jabs and many of them are wearing the masks and they're lowering their immune system and they are going to be vulnerable. And you are going to start seeing it really ramp up. You are. New YouTube account, as my email was compromised, so I had a lot of grief. My YouTube account. Oh, Rich, I'm sorry about that, darling. As he identified the cabal as a threat. They are. Look, you got anyone in a uniform that's prepared to come and kick your door down and walk all over your rights for a little civil matter, that's prepared to nick your kids with a bloody machine gun or break your kid's arm. A couple of years ago, my friend up north in Leeds, she was had the old bill out the front of the house. She'd been doing a lot of stuff. Anyhow, her son went out, 17-year-old lad, because the police were manhandling his mother. Who wouldn't? You would, wouldn't you? You know, you see some twat in a fucking uniform going out and manhandling your mum, you're going to be like, I don't like that. It's your instinct, your natural, your body's natural reaction is to curb that. You don't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see that. Anyway, the police slammed his head so hard into that windscreen, they cracked the windscreen. And he had fits and convulsions for quite a long time. And then the police done her for having a cracked windscreen, which had calls themselves. Why? Because they're a fucking mafia and they're a tyranny. And they can, ladies and gentlemen. They've got all the weapons, the buildings, the mace spray. They can tie you up. They can do what the fuck they like. They are a modern day Gestapo. They are an SS unit. And I just hope and pray that you can all see that as being the truth. Colliman says, Dave, you're a wise man. I try, me son. I did have a little production firm when I first started out 10 years ago called Three Wise Men Productions. Everyone that works for the government are still getting their wages at the minute and still guaranteed pensions at the same media money has dictated loyalty to the country. Society has lost its way. Absolutely right. We're proper lost. We need to get back to greatness. I got banned in 2012. Never looked back. Quercus robus. Yeah, I'm done with it. I can't be doing it. So I had 7 days left until I could live stream again. So it would have been 6 days today, right? So they've got in again. They've given me another 90 days. But the problem is, I wasn't never going to go live on Facebook again anyway. I'm not interested in it no more. It can kiss my little testes. The only reason I leave the profile up is so that people can contact me and get information. That's the only reason. I don't. If it went tomorrow, I'd say hallelujah. Facebook's a dirty, dirty thing. But it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So look, whatever's going on at the moment, just keep yourself healthy, keep yourself fit. Marshall, I'm so sorry you lost your job, but I'm glad that you stood up for yourself. I'm glad you stood for your rights, and I'm glad you didn't accept the mark, mate. I really am very glad that you did not accept the mark of the beast. And my next video, I promise you that I will be doing the blood gas saturation levels with a mask, and we're going to do it at the beginning. Within a couple of minutes, I'll put my mask on, and I think I've got a mask on the van, a work mask. I'll put the mask on, and I'll leave it 20 minutes, half hour whilst we're doing a video, and then I'll do it and show you again to see whether there's any difference. Now, I went cycling last weekend, 1st of January. 1st of January, I went out cycling. It wasn't frosty, but it was cold. So I went cycling, and I have these neck things that pull up around your face and cover your nose with your bobbly hat on and me cycle hat. Just my eyes that were getting chilly because I had glasses on. So the point is this: I'd gone out and done about 15 miles. And this thing that I'd had pulled up around my nose and face, when I got home, I could basically wring it out. Can you imagine the contaminants and I know it's nasty, isn't it? And people are wearing these things every single day. They're taking moisture and putting all this moisture back on their lungs. You know what Legionellas is? My God, people, be careful. Stay strong. I'm just trying to tell you how it is. Take your vitamin D's, take your vitamin C's, stay strong. Come on, we can do this. We can get through this. But we need, there's something going to give. I said last year that something this year, the beginning of this year, couple of months, there's something massive going to happen. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's going to come from, but I can feel the spirit pouring out, and I know that there's something big and massive going to happen. All right, but I want you to know before I disappear that you only exist in this system to these people as a corporate entity, a business, something that they can plunder until the day you die. I'm fed up with that. I don't want a country like that. I want a country run by decent souls where we respect people as men and women, and we respect their unalienable rights. And for all of you out there that work in the system that are currently violating people's unalienable rights, we've got our eyes on you. We're coming. At some point, you will all yield to the spirit. Trust me, it's coming. I love you all. I'll see you all very soon. Stay blessed.